In the center of the Pacific Ocean lies a quiet Japanese island that was once known for its stunning views and the wonderful way people and nature worked together. For many generations, families had made their home here contentedly, raising good crops and collecting lots of food from their fields. But this ideal life was suddenly destroyed when enormous numbers of rats attacked the island and created awful damage. The rats appeared from nowhere and wrecked the plants, consumed all the stored food, and totally upset the peaceful everyday routines everyone was used to. The normal methods of fighting pests were completely useless against these determined rats. The island residents attempted every possible solution, catching devices, deadly chemicals, and other methods, but nothing could prevent the situation from becoming worse. "We've attempted every solution," declared one upset farmer, observing rats wreck his rice crops. "The catching devices are vacant, the deadly chemicals aren't effective, and each dawn brings even more of them." Their previously thriving agriculture began crumbling. The farmers who had spent years caring for their soil saw all their effort vanish in a single evening, consumed by the expanding swarm of rats. The emergency became increasingly severe, with no solution visible. When the situation seemed impossible, the island residents joined forces to create a fresh and clever answer, introducing a natural hunter to restore the natural order. "What about bringing cats here?" proposed an old fisherman during an intense village discussion. "My grandfather used to say cats brought good fortune and were excellent hunters." "Cats? That's what you're suggesting?" mocked a younger farmer. "We need serious pest management, not house animals." But the fisherman continued, "Look, we've attempted everything else. What could we possibly lose?" This is when the cat champions came into the tale. 1,000 cats from various locations were transported to the island, with their inborn hunting abilities prepared to tackle the rat invasion. As these elegant creatures investigated their new territory, they rapidly became alert defenders, patrolling the crops, homes, and storage facilities. The cats gradually decreased the rat numbers, which allowed the island's natural surroundings to begin recovering. Each passing day, these fuzzy hunters became more essential to the community's existence. Initially, the island residents had doubts this approach would succeed. They had learned about similar efforts to manage pests using natural hunters in other locations worldwide, but never with such incredible results. "I never believed it would really succeed," confessed one doubtful villager, observing a group of cats guarding his vegetable plot. "But watch them work. They're like tiny warriors." But gradually, the cats' steady work began showing results. Where rats had previously roamed everywhere across the island, now there was silence. Farmers began seeing that their plants remained undamaged, and their storage areas, which had been raided nightly, were finally secure. The island, which had been near total environmental collapse, was slowly improving. What the island people didn't understand was that their answer would soon generate a completely different type of trouble, one that would endanger the exact wildlife they were attempting to save. "For the first time in months, I had a full night's sleep without listening to rats inside my walls," expressed one relieved local. "It feels like magic." As time passed, the cats became cherished parts of the community. Every cat discovered its role in the affections and houses of the island people, symbolizing power and the wonderful bond between humans and animals. The island transformed into a secure location where cats wandered openly, displaying nature's careful equilibrium. The villagers, who had initially viewed them as simply pest control equipment, now considered the cats as defenders and guardians of both their food resources and their lifestyle. What began as a desperate trial became a living wonder. "They're no longer just cats," said one thankful resident, stroking a striped cat that had settled on her front porch. They're our protectors, our faith. This small one right here rescued my whole rice crop. As the months passed, people saw their food storage stayed undisturbed and crops were no longer ruined during the night. The island was returning to health, and the champions weren't machines or chemicals but living beings who had discovered a home and mission. The cats had become more than companions. They were essential partners in the island's healing. In the years that followed, the cats flourished alongside the community. Many got names, regular meals, and attention as treasured friends. Visitors started coming, attracted by popular videos and tales like The Island Controlled by Cats and How Cats Rescued a Town. Social media personalities, photographers, and film teams came to see the story personally. Even researchers paid attention. Environmental specialists examined the island's natural healing, discovering that the cats had brought back balance in ways no human action had accomplished. The island became a research example in natural pest management and environmental cooperation. Colleges included the Cat Island approach in studies about cross-species partnership, with researchers surprised at how the environment had changed through nature's own approaches. Beyond research and tourism, something more profound changed in how people viewed things. Residents started seeing their cat friends not just as pest fighters but as spiritual protectors, defenders of life, customs, and harmony. Small sacred places emerged, tales traveled through families, and children matured with cats as part of daily existence, learning nature appreciation through these surprising teachers. Families would meet at night, watching cats guard the roads and thinking about the balance that had been brought back. "My kids gained so much from observing the cats," shared one parent, watching her small daughter gently pet a cat's coat. "They now realize how everything in nature connects. The cats show them patience, gentleness, and respect." "Grandfather, share with us once more about the period before the cats arrived," a child would request during evening meetings. "Oh, those were terrible times," the grandfather would answer. "But the cats showed us that sometimes the solution isn't battling nature, it's cooperating with it." 8 years after the first cats came to the island, researchers proved what locals already understood. The rat population had fallen to nearly nothing. Not eliminated unnaturally, but balanced by the environment's own laws. The cats had become not just inhabitants but leaders, kind, alert, and clearly successful. Their existence had helped the island flourish again, bringing with it a recognition for nature's complicated systems of balance. But then came the startling discoveries that would alter everything. During regular health examinations, the visiting animal doctor made a troubling discovery that would destroy the island's paradise. Sorry for the interruption. Before we continue with the story, I kindly ask you to like the video and subscribe to this channel. It is very important for us. Thank you very much. "I've never seen this before," the animal doctor said sadly, looking at a young striped cat whose eyes were cloudy. "This isn't what happens when cats get old. This cat is only 3 years old, but it's already losing its sight." As the doctor checked more cats, a scary pattern started to show. Cats all over the island were getting the same strange sickness. Young cats going blind, healthy cats having trouble breathing, and many other health problems. Scientists later found out this was happening on other cat islands too. On faraway Oshima, 1 out of every 3 cats left were fighting the same illnesses, all because of too much breeding within families. With so few different genes from the first 1,000 cats, generation after generation of cats breeding with their relatives had created a serious genetic problem. "We protected them from the rats," said one heartbroken person living there, watching her favorite cat struggle for air. "But we couldn't protect them from this." The perfect place built on nature's balance was now facing nature's payback. The same separation that had kept the cats safe from outside dangers had locked them into a pattern of inherited diseases. As the human population kept getting older and smaller, a horrible truth became clear. The island's success story was writing its own tragic end. "There's only 4 of us left now," said the island's unofficial cat lady, now in her 80s. "When we die, who will give them food? Who will take care of them?" Things were getting desperate on all of Japan's cat islands. On Aoshima, scientists were saying the place would be completely empty within 5 years, with only 4 old people left to care for 80 cats. The cats that had once rescued the island were now facing their own death, not from rats or natural disasters, but from time passing and humans dying. In 2011, when a huge earthquake and giant wave hit the area, something amazing happened that would forever change how people saw their cat protectors. The cats, with their sharp senses, started acting weird hours before the disaster came. The cats were acting wild, remembered one person who survived. Running everywhere, crying loudly, hiding up high. We'd never seen them do that before. When the giant wave waters went back out, Tashirojima Island had made it through with very little damage. Many people living there believed they owed their lives to the cats' early warning, having run to higher ground after seeing how strangely the cats were acting. The same animals they had brought to fix one problem had accidentally become an early warning system for another. Environmental scientists studying the island's natural world gave maybe the most worrying news of all. The cats that had brought back balance by getting rid of rats had accidentally become a danger to other species. "We're seeing a huge drop in native bird numbers," said one researcher, showing troubling information. "The cats didn't stop hunting when the rats were gone. They started hunting other animals." Studies from similar islands around the world were showing the same thing. Wild cat populations always threatened rare and endangered local species. The heroes of the rat problem had become the bad guys in a new environmental problem. Nature's balance, it seemed, was more complicated than anyone had thought. But maybe the most shocking discovery of all was still coming. In 2018, authorities decided on an extreme solution. Every single cat on the island would be fixed so they couldn't have babies. "We have no other option," announced the city official. "With only 13 people left to feed over 130 cats, we're heading toward disaster." But not everyone thought this was right. "You're destroying our future," yelled one elderly resident, who would later hide 10 cats from the doctor teams. "These cats saved us once. Now you want to wipe them out completely?" The operation was huge and had never been done before. Over 3 days, teams put 130 cage traps all over the island. 3 animal doctors worked non-stop, fixing 172 cats so they couldn't reproduce. A world record. The cats were let go the next morning, going back to their normal activities, completely unaware that their species' future on the island had just been ended. "We've just watched the start of the end," said one visiting researcher. "In 18 years, when these cats reach the end of their normal lives, there will be no more cats on this island. Ever." The fixing program had created an invisible countdown clock. No new kittens would ever be born again. The island's cat population would slowly get old and die over the next 20 years, bringing a final end to the story that had fascinated the world. Meanwhile, another cruel twist was happening across the whole country. While the island struggled with being poor and declining, the cats had accidentally started a huge economic trend that researchers called neconomics, the business of cats. "It's unbelievable," said one economist, amazed by the data. "The cat economy in Japan is worth 2.5 trillion yen. That's more than what the Tokyo Olympics made. but none of that money is reaching the islands where it all began. The contradiction was heartbreaking in how simple it was. Tashirojima got 40,000 tourists every year, drawn by the cats, but with only 60 human residents and almost no businesses, not even a single vending machine, there was no way to get the economic benefits. Visitors came, took pictures, fed the cats with food they brought from the mainland, and left without spending any money locally. "We've become famous for our cats," said one frustrated shop owner. "But being famous doesn't pay our bills. These tourists come to see our cats, but they don't buy anything because there's nothing to buy." The situation created growing problems between the few remaining residents and the flood of visitors. Complaints started piling up about tourists who ignored signs saying not to feed cats, left trash on the clean island paths, and ruined the peaceful atmosphere. "They come here looking for peace," said one elderly resident bitterly. "Then they destroy the exact thing they came to find." The most heartbreaking discovery came when researchers realized the full meaning of their well-meant intervention. The mass fixing program, designed to solve the too many cats problem, had basically scheduled the island's complete change back to how they were before the cats. "We thought we were being responsible," said one of the animal doctors who had done the procedures. "But we've basically set a timer for when these places will stop being cat islands forever. By 2036, there won't be a single cat left." "The island taught us that sometimes the old ways are the best ways," thought an elderly fisherman who had lived through the change. "My father used to say that nature knows best. I never really got what he meant until now, but maybe nature also knows when it's time to let go." "Before the cats, I was ready to leave this place," admitted another longtime resident, his voice heavy with feeling. "The cats gave us hope, gave us purpose, gave us tourists and fame. But now, I wonder if we were just delaying what was meant to happen." Today, Cat Island brings visitors from around the world, but not as expected. What started as a miracle of humans and nature working together has become a complicated lesson in unexpected results. Tourists come looking for hope and cute cats, but find a complex truth. Every solution creates new problems, and nature's power includes both creating and destroying. The island's story, shared worldwide through documentaries and articles, now works as both inspiration and warning. "Every visitor leaves understanding something we never expected to teach," said the last remaining guide, watching tourists take pictures of the aging cats with mixed happiness and sadness. "We don't control the story once we start it. Nature writes the ending, and sometimes it isn't what we hoped for." The phenomenon has started worldwide debate about conservation and human interference in ecosystems, inspiring both similar efforts and warning stories about ecological balance. Most importantly, it teaches that real stories don't have perfect endings, and deep lessons come from accepting both beauty and sadness in our relationship with nature. By 2036, the countdown will be finished. The island that cats once saved will become their final resting place, a bittersweet reminder that even the most beautiful stories must end. Did you enjoy this story? Is it better for humans to actively manage wildlife and habitats, or to let ecosystems self-regulate? Let us know in the comments below. If you liked the story, subscribe to this channel and leave a like. Nature keeps going, but changes in unexpected ways. Thanks so much for listening. See you in the next video. Have a great day.